Esteemed colleagues and friends, this is Shodip Andhar from Kolkata. I am very happy to be here today amongst you to share my thoughts and experience of skin infections in patients with atopic dermatitis. After a very exhaustive description by Dr. Helen of skin microbiome in healthy individuals and in patients with atopic dermatitis, I'm going to show you clinically how does it manifest. And I have to share a number of pictures of these patients. That's why this disclaimer and conflict of interest. Secondary infection by Staphylococcus aureus has already been told. That's fairly common in patients with atopic dermatitis over the eczematous lesions. It may not be very frank, pus-like lesions, but a lot of oozing suggests that this is colonization by Staph aureus, and a course of anti-staphylococcal antibiotic for at least 2 weeks helps a lot in such patients. However, if there is very frank infection by Staph aureus, you can see this yellowish crust like pustular lesions, infraauricular eczema of atopic dermatitis. Frank pyogenic infections or secondary infections in staphylococcal infections in atopic dermatitis is fairly common in patients with atopic dermatitis. This may be very extensive like this over one of the sites of childhood atopic dermatitis, like popliteal fossa. Recently, we have come up with a publication from International Eczema Council about bacterial infections in patients with atopic dermatitis. Now, from bacteria to virus, viral infections, Kaposi's varicella-form eruptions is well known in patients with atopic dermatitis, and most of the time you have seen it in white skin, type 1 to type 3 skin. Let us see, how does it look like in type 4 to type 6 skin. This 9-year-old girl was, admitted with these lesions and very high fever, a known case of atopic dermatitis for 7 years. But this was, developing over next, last 3 to 4 days. And when we admitted this child in our institute, the child was very toxic. And if you look at it closely, that there are vesicular lesions on an erythematous background. This suggested disseminated herpes infection, also known as Kaposi's varicella-form eruptions. Look at the conglomeration of the vesicles over the rim of the pinna. Look at the conglomeration of the vesicles over the cubital fossa, one of the site of childhood atopic dermatitis. And in such situations, you have to admit the child. It is a medical emergency, and intravenous acyclovir was given in these children, in this child. And subsequently, oral acyclovir is to be given for at least 6 to 12 weeks because this is very notorious for reinfections and relapses. Now, like Kaposi's varicella-form eruption or eczema herpeticum, even Coxsackie virus is known to produce similar kind of situations. This we have known over last 5-7 years that it produces a condition which is known as eczema coxsackieum. The child is not as toxic as eczema herpeticum. Usually there is mild fever, but you can see that there are vesicles which are not conglomerated but discrete vesicles on an eczematous background of hand, foot, and mouth disease or Coxsackie viral infection. This is known as eczema coxsackium. Now, in a child who has extensive atopic dermatitis lesion over the face can develop innumerable number of molluscum contagiosum over face. So this is also not very common in an otherwise immunocompetent child. Close-up of the lesion. Similarly, like molluscum contagiosum, human papilloma virus produces multiple warts in a child where atopic dermatitis has healed but subsequently developed multiple warts. Now, over past 5 odd years in India and subcontinent, there has been an epidemic of superficial fungal infections or dermatophytosis, and there are a number of publications both in national and international journals about it. What we see is extensive dermatophytosis in a child. Usually we never earlier had seen such extensive dermatophytosis in children over face. And these all happened because the child had atopic dermatitis over the face. Extensive lesions of dermatophytosis, tinea corporis, tinea cruris, and multiple members in the families are affected. Often they present in such bizarre fashion that you think of something else on the right-hand side. It was initially thought as psoriasis or seborrheic dermatitis. On the left-hand side, this child was referred to me as a case of generalized pustular psoriasis. So this is something which is, very, foxing at times. Look at the skin of this child. It is extensive candidiasis of the skin, which is usually not seen in an immunocompetent child, but when the child has atopic dermatitis or just healed atopic dermatitis lesions over the back, the candidiasis disseminates like this. That's it. Thank you very much for your patient hearing.